it's like the near,
Hello.
foods for Kenya, who can first. If you look at
Okay.
you're saying that Karen atukinunua land, sijui ita depreciate. I've never seen a land in Kenya it not depreciate easily. I think I've been in this.
Hello. Yeah. As usual, Kenya stima zimetuletea issue, and that's why we had to add the first iteration of this just ended abruptly, and so I'm sorry for that, guys. And now, if you are watching you find yourself in this channel, just know this is the channel where I will be speaking and just doing my lives, just like I really enjoyed doing lives last time, and I felt at home. But at the end of the day, there are things that I should be doing on the main channel, and when they start colliding, ama zikianza kukurana, it becomes an issue. So because of that, I've decided to be doing my live streams on a new channel, which I know it will be super hard in the next one unless I start pushing it to friends and marketing it on the other channel. It will be super hard for people even to come here. Now, because we know that, I won't dwell on so much things here and there. I have a few videos I wanted us to really to have to talk about. Basically, I have a few videos I wanted us to really talk about, and because of that, okay, sorry for that. I want us to react on a few videos here and there. And the first video I want to talk of is the Ndindi Nyoro. Yeah, Ndindi Nyoro did a good interview some time back, and I know, guys, namjua Ndindi Nyoro. I know he is, by the way, he is just an MP for my neighbor. He's the MP for my neighboring county. It's a walking distance, and honestly speaking, the guy does akona kazi. Honestly speaking, hatuwezi sema hafanyi kazi. In being as honest as we can, the guy is doing good work. And so I want to talk about that video that did trend a few weeks back, like 2 weeks back, by Ndindi Nyoro. And then I talk about any other thing that I think also I will talk about not only the Ndindi Nyoro stuff. Yeah. I will just keep it short. I will react to as much as I can and as little as I can. So let's start with the Ndindi Nyoro, and then tutaanzia hapo, and then hopefully we really nini tujue kitu one or two. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Tunaweza keti tafadhali. Our senior pastor, Reverend Kimathi, and all the other clergy who are here this morning,
okay,
for CBF. Our main guest, Dr. Wale, my brother, our MP for Nyeri Town,
okay,
Mheshimiwa DMM, and of course, Mrs. Maina, the organizers of this very well-organized event.
And honestly speaking, by the way, I had seen this video for the first 3 minutes, and yeah, and then I realized, hey, I want to watch. By the way, I haven't watched it. I've heard people saying that he is against people buying land. I've literally not watched this video, so hopefully,
led by my brother Ken Kiura, and all the other organizers who some I have met actually in my office earlier, and all the participants of this forum, this breakfast, and this two-day conference. Good morning.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps,
Yeah.
and it's killing team productivity.
Habari yenu. Muriega. Asante sana. I am very pleased to come here this morning.
Okay.
And especially as a businessman, more than a politician. Because we are here to share about business, entrepreneurship, creating value. I am sure there are other forums for the other hat that I wear in terms of politics.
Okay.
And I am at home completely because I keep saying that anytime I am reading or interacting in any issue around investments, about business, about entrepreneurship, Old Testament, God could bless his people.
Okay, tuanzie hapa.
To some extent, we may think that talking about money is going off. But I'm glad that every
Yeah. By the most African traditions think that. I don't know why. I don't know. It's like a taboo. Yeah. I remember when I started this channel, people, especially if I'm sharing my personal details, I it's always
now
like a
and then
taboo.
we keep being reminded that even when you read about the Old Testament, God could bless his people even with great wealth, and it is recorded. And therefore, business is one of the ways that God can choose to bless us, and that is our domain this morning.
Okay.
But you allow me, because I am also a representative of the people of Kiharu and Kenya in terms of Parliament, National Assembly. I can hear there are some people from Kiharu here. Asante sana. It is important. I mentioned just in 2 minutes because it is important. In Kiharu, I am glad to be an MP there, and I'm sure, and I'm glad even Honorable DMM has been there. Kiora has been there.
Have you seen how
kwani
AI is
adverts ni
completely
mingi aje
revolutionizing
mama?
the trading game and how it can support smarter decision making?
Hizo adverts ni mingi, ameweka middle
And
zote.
I talk about this because when any part of Kenya develops, then Kenya is developing. When any part of Kenya decelerates, then also Kenya is going backwards.
Okay.
So in Kiharu, through NGCDF of Kiharu, it's a very large constituency. Actually, in terms of land mass, it could be only second from Kieni.
It's bigger than Kajiado? No, that's not true. That's not true.
Have around 112 public primary schools.
Yeah, it's big.
112 public primary schools. And I want to assure you, some of you who follow us on social media, the way they are, all our public primary schools, they are well done, well built, where we needed to build new structures. Where there are old structures, all our classrooms are tiled as a representation of all the other work done. When I say tiling, it's representing all the other overhaul of the work. Also, we have started like 7 new day schools from scratch. But lastly, the program that I'm very proud about is a program we run.
But then this guy, considering 100 to 120 million and what he does, makes sense. CDF yake inakuanga imefanya kazi. That's true.
Touching learners in day secondary schools, which we have around 65, including the ones we've started. And we have around 12,500 learners in those day schools in Kiharu. In Kiharu, what we've done is to do what is called backward aggregation. Okay. So we have consolidated the amount of budgets our day schools run, and then we try to work out a modality of lessening the burden for learners. So this is the outcome. The outcome is that of all the learners in our day secondary schools in Kiharu, we subsidize the education through CDF and other mechanisms.
Yeah,
And
GCDF
learners in
haiwezi tosha. You can imagine that's Kiharu gets like 120 million per year. I'm pretty sure nini hiyo pesa haiwezi tosha. Hiyo pesa haiwezi tosha. No. They get a lot, 200 million. But kama wako na 112 schools and like 2025 to 2026 they're getting. Now let me share this. So these are the allocations, and they are getting good allocations by them. Not bad. This is not bad. This is not very bad by them. It's good to verify. Huku kwetu ndo tunapatanga about 120, and I think CDF allocation depends on the size and the population, the size of the county, of the constituency, and the population. Yeah, so I think this is one of the highest earners. You can see from the minimum in 2017 to 2018. So you can go to allocations za NGCDF uone kama saa hii this year watapata 243, last year up to June walipata 188, 184, and it's good that my guy here works. You hatuwezi mnyima. He's a guy, if you do the math, yeah. Just a minute, what's not happening? Anaambiwa my browser has lost my screen share. So, some of these, by the doing live stream, guys, na si mambo na nini ama nini, understanding how to do live stream. Sorry for that.
Because we would also encourage that. We don't actually permit in excess of 1,000 in the schools where there is remendio. And in that 1,000, learners eat in school from Monday up to Saturday.
That's nice.
And they don't eat together every day. We alternate some rice, some this, some that, some that. And in the last Friday of the month in Kiharu, all day schools, the last Friday of the month, they actually eat chapati for lunch.
Wow, that's nice.
Including last Friday, which was the last Friday of the month. We do this because we know the primacy of education in shaping society from the household level going upwards. We have also invested over 20 million shillings in buying of revision books for those day schools. We are building laboratories. We are building halls in terms of deepening knowledge and education.
Okay.
I have mentioned that because it is important. It is important because this year alone, because we have 2 sub-counties in Kiharu, it's large. We have over 2,000 students who have come from other areas in Kenya to live with their relatives so that they school in our day schools. And I'm very proud about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because we don't ask for ID ya mzazi. Ati tuonyeshe mzazi ni wa hapa, anapiga kura hapa. Once you join our day secondary school, what you are looking for is knowledge. You'll become a voter later. Our business now is education, not about where the parent votes.
So how do you circumvent the CDF amounts?
Let me come back now to
That's
the
the big question. But
I'll try to compress so that I actually take less time than I was allocated, so that we can have a time where we can interact with all, even the chief guest. We are here as business people. We are here as entrepreneurs. We are here as investors. But sometimes do you quip to ask yourself what is the difference? What are you? Because there must be a reason why in the dictionary there is a different word for being a businessman, for being an entrepreneur, for being an investor. Because if it meant the same, then it will be one word or one definition. So
Yeah. The being an entrepreneur and being an investor. Yes, totally. Yeah.
This
makes
morning,
sense.
we need to trace ourselves so that we find whether we are in the right locus. But then we know that Denyora is a politician. Why was he invited? In brief, I actually started business earlier than politics, because in class 6 I had my first kiosk, class 6. And I'm not telling you those stories of I started a big farm with an apple or no. That's not what I'm doing. Out of necessity, from a mud house, from a father who was living in Kiadutu slums in Thika, and a peasant farmer mother, and in a family where the only person who had a car was my uncle, Matano, actually. After studying my uncle's life, I actually saw that he never progressed with education so much. So I thought I can take a shortcut like my uncle. Hakuna haja ya kujichosha na masomo. He was driving a KUI. He had never been to high school. So I started my first kiosk.
And there are people who say that this is a notion. Most people say that ati masomo si muhimu. By the easiest way to get rich, it's not about wealth. The wealth is later. You build wealth with the income that you make. The easiest way to make money is through education. That's the easiest way. And most rich people, education was the ndo ilifungua milango. Now, these are knowledge that you can make money without education. Yes, people make money without education. There are so many examples. Na it's potato here. There is yani utapatiwa so many scenarios, but out of every 1 millionaire from no education, I can count 10 millionaires with education. Millionaires. How bila education wako na pesa mingi ni sawa, because they solve solutions pahali wakafanya. But remember, one of the richest people in Kenya, this guy wa commercial bank, education. If you check, even if you go, even like in Amoria, those people who are handling most amount of money, education was the opener. No, it's education that puts you on the table. So people forget that. So history.
And I could go buy some shopping hapo nyumbani kwetu kwa fence, nikakata nikaeka ka kiosk, asanti. But of course in class 6, when you have 200 in your pocket, there is nothing a mathematics teacher can tell you. So because I could not listen very keenly, my education ikaanza kwenda chini, ama grades. And my godmother, mwenye alinisimamia nikipatizwa, was my teacher and my village mate called Mrs. Karanja. So at the time wakati my father came from Kiadutu, he used to come over weekends. Kamwambia, your son is good, lakini masomo inaleta shida kwa sababu ya duka. So my father forced me to liquidate, but he was kind enough to actually pay me for the entire stock, which was just around 600 shillings. Then
okay, 600 ni pesa mingi, guys.
Nikaenda Kiabugi Secondary School. It's just neighboring our place. And I'm saying this because it was more out of necessity. From my first year, hapo, from 1, nikaanza kuwa cobra wa kushona viatu. And those who are there can attest. These are not stories where we only give as politicians. This is real stories. So I started mending
Siza
shoes,
Kasongo.
progressed later into running school kiosk. School kiosk was being run by clubs, drama club, science club, officials.
Okay.
So I made sure I vied to be an official in almost all the clubs, so that I ran the canteen uninterrupted, so that we could buy some bread for the club, and of course some for ourselves to get the profit, and then to make the ends meet. Later on in my third year, my Form 3, Form 4, my elder sister had a Mutumba in Thika. Maybe that's where I got the courage ya kuongea mbele ya watu sana. Because in my over holiday I used to go to Thika, pahali naitwa Mukereti, wenye mnajua Thika. Sasa hivi kumejengwa manyumba mrefu. But before it was a market. Nguo za watoto especially I used to sell. University, when I was joining KU, I had two goals. One was to deepen my leadership, but number two is to expand in terms of business. So when I joined KU, my first year, first help, I paid for my school fees for the whole year for KU. But the second semester help in the same first year, number one, start kiosk. Those who are from KU, you know KM.
KM,
I started like a
Nigeria.
hotel there, and I called it Vatican Cave. But, and I remember one time, it was Valentine's Day, we had gone to buy sufurias with a person I had borrowed some money, ya kuanza hiyo ka hoteli. That guy is called Wamwere, now he's in the UK. And we had gone to buy sufurias in Gekoba for that ka hotel of mine. Then, Wamwere told me I have a girlfriend, alikuwa nauza phone accessories along Rudhuri Avenue. Since gari za KU ziko tu hapo karibu, matatu, tukaenda tukisalimia girlfriend ya Wamwere. When we reached there carrying sufurias, the lady was looking at us like she does not even know us. Later on, Wamwere was dumped.
That's a good story. Okay.
This was the main reason. Kwa council ya wazee, this was the main reason. Number one, we didn't know it was Valentine's Day. So he ought to have gone to see the girlfriend in a different manner.
Sina masufuria.
But number two, Wamwere had already told the girlfriend that he's doing a degree KU ya teaching na some economics uko katikati. So the lady was wondering,
mwalimu na masufuria.
Hii ni gani na economics gani watu wananunua sufuria? Kwani ni home science? So of course we started that business na tukafanya hapo. The classmates used to come eat. After eating they tell me tuonane class. And they know I used to skip a lot of classes because of that hotel. So out of my classmates who are here, I'll tell the chief if he's around, you made my hotel collapse. Then the same year, because I was determined, nikitoka mashinani, mi naenda, first of all, to polish my leadership, but also to look for money. Yo ikaanguka hoteli. The same semester, I decided to vie as a student leader in my first year, as Congress person in the School of Humanities in KU then. So I vied, lost by 4 votes. Then I was wondering, I think nitaacha hii kiberebere, because hoteli imeanguka, ndio hii politics ya hapo shule ni kama nimeanguka pia. There is something that happened in my second semester in KU. My sister, anaitwa Esther, came to visit. I think she was the first person relative to visit me in campus. You know, sisi watu wa hiyo age, kitoka mashinani now you become a breadwinner. Sio kupiga simu tumiwe pesa, ni wewe utume help. So my sister came to visit, elder sister. I was so broke. I had started a hotel through my help and some borrowing from Wamwele, it had collapsed. I had vowed to be a student leader, I hadn't made it. we were so broke tukienda kumaliza semester, we could barely afford a meal. So with my friend Jemo, who was either my roommate or next, hapo tu karibu, he was one of my best friends. So my sister came to visit, brought us meat, nyama, and we were so broke. Then we decided with Jemo, tukifanya hesabu ya kwenye semester imebakia, kula nyama inatuumiza. So we decided to sell the meat. so that we can push some days kukura ugali na matoto. So that first semester, long vacation. Hapa unamaliza mwaka.
Now, by the for people, I don't know what's the cost of food kwa universities nowadays. Tukisota tukiwa kampo tulikuwa tunakula mess. Mess ulikuwa unaenda na 22 bob unapata ugali, 27 bob unapata ugali, 5 bob, nyama 17 bob na nini na tumboga na 5 bob. So about 27 bob hapo. Nakumbuka hata 22 bob ndo ulikuwa unapata nyama na ugali. So ile time umesota, that was especially sasa bisi kwa mtu wa help. Sisi tulikuwa tunategemea wazazi, so ukitumia dono mzazi tuseme monthly income yako ni kama kamshahara, ukikunya yote ama usosi yote ama upoteze ama whatever happens, you don't go back home to kuitisha do. So okay, by the way, and sometimes our experiences, sometimes naonanga watu wakisema wewe hujui shida, your experience is very different, and our lifestyles ama the way we are brought up shapes the people we become. So that does not mean that alikuwa na yani, wacha tusiende in that direction, but thank you. Ni poa amenikumbusha hapo.
Of course, me I had decided sirudi mashinani.
Okay.
So my uncle akanipea kanyumba hapo Lang'ata. I used to go mguu mpaka town. Nikapata some internship in the Ministry of Trade. But then when I was loitering around, I decided my former MP called Genye Kariuki niende nikamtoanisha kitu. So I was, wakati yo comrade, I was saa hiyo nimematch kiatu ya black, of course iko na vubi na trouser ya black na shati ya black. Sasa unajiona umematch ile mbaya. Na nimebeba bahasha as usual. Sijui kwa nini, when you are a student in campus or after you finish, you always carry a CV.
Yeah.
As a default setting. So I was carrying a brown envelope, was going to my former MP's office.
Okay. Must be in advert. Na nitalipia sasa nini? Haina shida.
But I was going there kumuonyesha he can rely on me in terms of kura za my youths. So that anipatie kitu, inipatie fare ya kukaa Nairobi. So nikapata a meeting. I was told you can leave your CV. But I was not going there to look for a job. I was going there to look for money, cheap money. Then later on, he called me within that week. And I went to his office. And akaniuliza, kijana ulikuwa unatafuta kazi? Kamwambia, yes sir. When do you want to start? Today sir. Nikaanza kazi hapo ya stockbroking. The reason I've given all that background is because I do stockbroking up to today. And that is the basis where I learned investments. Raw investments, especially in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So whatever you read about Kenya Power, that is the genesis of me buying shares. I'm sure some of you have read something about it. In terms of investing in Kenya Power, investing in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, that is my genesis. Later on, of course, started an IT company. We now, as politicians, we may not go into details, but but I do business in IT, in financial services, majorly IT and financial services.
Loans, basically hawezi kosa kanini ka loans hapo, but anyway, hopefully they are not these exploitative loans. That's the kisikia fintech, they make money by loaning you money. Yeah, nothing else, nothing else. Because for you to make money as a fintech for other reasons other than loaning you money, the licenses you require and the provisions you require ni kitu ingine. But ukisikia IT na fintech,
What's the distinction between a businessman
now, the first 20 minutes was just simple jargon, Okay.
and an entrepreneur? A businessman seeks to expand the business they are doing.
Yeah.
My brother here is in oil industry. As a businessman, you are looking at how many gas stations or fuel stations we will have. An entrepreneur sitafafanua vitu sana. Ukipitia hivyo najua mnashika maneno.
Yeah. Makes sense.
An investor is what I'll talk about later because it's an area that I really enjoy.
So basically anasema for you to be a business person, and I add something, self-employed. Naweza ongezea kitu ingine, self-employed. Being self-employed ni kama umejiajiri. Basically you are working for yourself. But that does not make you a business person. You may be having a business, but a business person is someone who is trying to extract as much as possible from that business. But being self-employed by owning a business is two different things by being a business person. And then you are still a business person per se, but basically kuna stage haujafika, haujakoma kukuwa real business person. And then being an entrepreneur, venye amesema, it's expanding. It's expanding. So majority of people in Kenya are not entrepreneurs. Because they are not like who are the entrepreneurs I know? I know a few, but most people in Kenya kazi yao ni extract as much, ni kumilk hiyo kitu dry, but hakuna innovations. Yani ni ngumu pate. Kama sasa unaonanga mtu ameanza biashara ya, I give you an example. We know that we have many wanaitwaje, many businesses zimeanza biashara ya maziwa. When wameanza hiyo biashara ya maziwa, majority go to the food settings, raw milk, hii maziwa yenyewe, not raw milk, milk, wanapack maziwa, and then wanauza yogurt, wanauza vitu kama hizo. But you rarely see people venture forward, like starting yogurts, starting flavored yogurts. Ni ngumu sana upate, and those who try it now they are trying to, those are now they are no longer business people. They are no longer operating a business. They are now, yes, they are definitely operating a business, but they are expanding their business by kufikiria beyond the box. That's why that's an entrepreneur. Solving solutions in the marketplace. That's
the difference between this business person and entrepreneur and this investor. What's the difference?
Investor ni letting your money work for you. So nimeweza explain entrepreneur, nimeweza explain a business person, na self-employed. So who is an investor? An investor is someone with enough. You can also be an investor. Anyone can be an investor, no matter how small or how big. But majority of times is you give out your resources to entrepreneurs or business people to get a return, basically. Kama nimekosea sawa.
In most cases, an investor will do, or the money for the investor will fetch them money passively.
Yeah, passive income.
Is where you don't wake up in the morning to go check how your shop is doing.
Yeah.
That's somebody else's business. You put in your money there, it's doing something for you. That is the bare, using superlatives, that is the top line definition. I want to talk about just a few basics because I've started many businesses also. Just some basics we may note here, and especially those who say they are huge business people. I saw your hearts. You said you are doing very well in business, but for now, it is in the mind. Just for now, it is in the mind. One of the basic, I have seen it is important. As you start a business, you don't start a business because the other person started.
Mm-hmm.
You start a business because there is a gap.
Yeah, solving a solution, not a gap, yeah.
Gap may be in terms of demand. Gap may be in terms of geography.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the same product, it is somewhere else, but it's not yet in a geographical area that you are seeking to establish. That could also be a gap. Value creation. You can make money faster through creating value than through extraction. Many times you want to do business to extract. To extract money from people's pockets. And that is why you realize, and especially in a church setup, when you do business, you want people to sympathize with you because you go to the same church to buy your product for that reason. That is not a reason enough. Just because I know you and you are my relative, you ought to create value. It is me who should be looking for your product. You shouldn't over-convince me simply by appealing to the soft side of how we know each other.
Yeah. Okay.
That means
talking of business, this drive is powered by Mjengo Tracker. You can go and try if you are building something somewhere. You can go and try Mjengo Tracker. Yeah, and hopefully itakuwa poa.
The other thing, bookkeeping. These things, they sound very banal. They sound easy. Bookkeeping. There is a story I keep giving all the time, and I'll give it. There is a time, me and my siblings, tukaenda nyumbani. Of course, we have a cow, like all of you in Mashinani. Or we had. So my mother anatembea Nairobi, siwezi lala hapa, nani atakamua ng'ombe? All the time, anaumwa na mgongo, nini? Ng'ombe. So siku moja tukaenda, kamwambia Madheka hapa chini, kuja na kalamu. Hebu tuone hii ukulima yako inakufikisha wapi? Unapeleka kwa dairy how many liters? These liters. Okay. Ukiendea, unapeleka dairy, then unaendea chakula ya ng'ombe kwa dairy.
Yeah.
Hata hiyo arrangement iko hapa Nyeri. So you are given the net after wametoa chakula.
Yeah. They do that. Nah, it's by the way, it's the same model. I like Kenchik's model, especially earlier. Nowadays wamekuwa a bit wamemaliza kiasi hiyo model, but I like Kenchik's model, guys. If I were to be asked the best business I know out there, na watu wanaweza niingia ama waseme nini ama sijui kenye nasema, but I'm telling you guys, the best business I know, the best business I know ni Kenchik. The best business I know ni Kenchik, guys. I'm telling you, those guys, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to really give kueleza the nitty-gritties, but the business I know is Kenchik. That's all I know.
Kula. Hiyo net unalipa mfanyikazi mwenye alikusaidia siku 2-3. Na unalipa pahali umekoboa you have leased some land.
Yeah.
for Napier grass. After we did the math, we realized, you know, I'm using that as a businessman. This is a businessman, a farmer, in you can say now in agro processing or something like that, to sound sophisticated. Now, after kufanya hesabu, we realized the M-Pesa we sent home to the mother, my mother, we don't send her money. We said what? We said the cow. Only that we use her phone. Because ukituma, after doing that math,
by the most people huku nje hawafanyangi wazazi wao hesabu. Ni vizuri siku moja, and it's something that I did intentionally, especially when dealing with money. I do that intentionally with everyone, my wife, my mom, any person who is in my life. I do it intentionally to calculate the amount of money that I'm sending. Sometimes unaweza ukipatia mtu pesa, we akili yako inakuambia hii pesa imetosha, but in reality you are, especially kama kwa nyumba, una realize, and then but ukipiga hesabu una realize hata ile pesa unampatia ni ndogo, haitoshi matumizi ya nyumba. Unaona? So it's always good to do that. Usifanye na sisemi ukue complicated, don't complicate life. I'm just saying this, be careful kabla, unajua naonanga watu wengi especially biashara zimeenda mbaya ama investment ilienda mbaya, or something happens when it comes to finances, especially at home and in such settings, unaona these are not right. Okay,
it taught me one thing that we all do, as especially owners of small businesses.
Yeah.
We never track our progress.
Yeah.
So we never know whether we are timing or we are making progress. And the best way to do that is to use data. Data could be in terms of number of customers served, in terms of bottom line. Me, I like looking at bottom line. After all is said and done, it is not if you are a person doing oil, your business is not to fuel other people's cars. Your business is to make money.
Yeah.
In economics class, we say it is not out of the benevolence of the baker that we enjoy our daily bread. It is out of their selfish interest to make money.
Yeah.
That we get Ken Blessed coming to our local shopping center every day. And in the economic interaction, selfishness is what bites the economy. You buy a matatu there seeking to make money, and me, I open a hardware seeking to make money. That interaction of the market is what creates the economy.
Yeah, yeah.
So as you start your small business early enough, track progress so that you actually know whether you are overstaying in a redundant area for too long. Market.
Keep data, keep information, and that's why we have Mjengo Tracker. Mjengo Tracker it's a tool that will help you keep records of all your constructions. Guys, keep record. Na mtu iko sana na client, mtu iko sana na mtu. Sasa ukijengea mtu, I'm building a house in Kavati. A very nice house. Kabed sita, tumefanya fencing, tumejenga choo, tumefanya tu vitu kadhaa huko. And that project, if it were not for some a tool like Mjengo Tracker, inaweza kuwa because I'm just being given money and then go in execution. Hata kuna atile like shika hii pesa, execute, enter the next phase. Nimepata 50k, shika, fanya hii. Nimepata 200k, like the last time alinipatia 180k last week. Go, take this 180k, do the execute now. Bado pesa ijaisha, so we are executing. It's a small project, but we are going it slowly too. Most hatutaki mbio mingi. Now we are doing the plastering. Kama si kitu kama Mjengo Tracker na proper bookkeeping, watu watapigana. No. So whatever will be spent, I have the record of it. I can prove it. Ndo hii. Another thing. So yeah. So go and try Mjengo Tracker.
Many times we are limited by what we know in the mind hapa. But do you know now with internet, there is a lot you can do. You look at market, whatever product you come up with, and please, especially those whose businesses are in the mind. Polish your ideas slightly further.
Okay.
Don't just do a business. Kuna business tu yani unafanya unaona. You need to think deeper. Especially those who have not yet risked or staked their money. Use more time to think than start. So that you first of all think about the market.
But also there is the disadvantage of thinking too much. Thinking is good, Thinking is good, and doing your research is good. But now also there comes a time where you have to react and act, and especially if you're starting something. It's always good to sasa kama unaanza biashara yote ni vizuri kujua how to. By the way, let's say this, there is no bad business, guys. Hakuna biashara mbaya. It's how you handle it and how you execute it. That's all has always been my belief. There is no bad business. So the reason why you need to unafaa think ama to take your time to think is to identify the weaknesses ama the opportunities and the risks and the strengths of that business. Simple as that. Si kukupatia uoga uachane nayo. Melewa. If you want to do pottery, do that. If you want to do farming, jua hizo vitu zenye realize. And if you go into it, now you shall be able to milk and create a gap for yourself.
It may not be limited to where you already know and can see with your eyes. Study. I'm not saying you hire professionals to do that. Do basic, even with the internet. Those who are already doing business and you have some capital, focus on there is something I keep thinking about, and I also do. Look for businesses whose barrier of entry is high, almost blocked. The highest margins are in businesses that have got high barrier of entry.
Yeah, a big moat share. True.
Barrier of entry may be in terms of knowledge. Barrier of entry may be in terms of capital.
Yeah.
For example, if you had 2 billion shillings in Kenya now today, and you are talking about building a real estate in terms of flats, me, I wouldn't, because everyone can do that.
Yeah.
For example, if you look at banking in Kenya, yes, the core capital was increased. It has been 1 billion shillings. But you know, there are so many Kenyans with that kind of money. That is already a niche where the barrier of entry is too high. So even if there are like 40 banks, they operate like oligopolies. And that is why you realize in Kenya, unless it is totally run down, few banks make losses. I'm just making that as a CASA.
Yeah, that's true.
Look for a business with a higher barrier of entry so that you can enjoy longer margins.
And not only margins, we also add that higher barriers of entry is competition. Like juzi niko nafikiria stories za hardware and the businesses you can do as a construction person, and then nika realize hardware simiti margin inakuanga pesa kidogo sana. So anyone anaweza enda apate 100k, 500k, 1 million na anze hiyo hardware. Hapa kwetu kuna mingi zimeangaliana. Only the best person now with better customer relations, best anajua ako na marketing, because kuna demand ya vitu za kujenga, so there is the demand, so they are offering the supply. The problem is anyone can do that, but the barrier to entry now in this ni your service, the service you offer. So nini zako sasa, you have to think of other things. Si kufungua tu hardware uanze kuuza ulete simiti stock you expect to sell. You have to think of better ways to improve that.
Or bigger margins. This is the other thing I want us to really interrogate. In my village, just like yours, my former teacher retires. the first thing they do is to buy a matatu.
The global AI market is projected to reach $1,770 billion.
Okay. Kumbe that's why nilikuwa natagio hii video. Now I understand why I was being
Or
tracked.
hapo kwa shopping center yetu anajenga hapo.
Now sasa tumefika
Pesa
kwa
ya
video.
retire.
Yeah.
Karibu wote.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Those businesses are good.
Ama anafungua kaduka.
They are good because they facilitate movement and they facilitate trading. But probably even my brother and sister in the same industry, there is much more they can do around there. What am I trying to say? Kenya is also a broad country. Yani kama huna we measure your success by how many plots you have.
Maybe
we'll talk about that later. By the way, I'm almost finishing.
We need faster, because 30 minutes in. Okay, another extra 40 minutes. Okay.
Allow me now these minutes, because I can see here, next time, this one here, this is the lead sponsor. We would want in the next few years to come, the owner of this lead sponsor will be from this hall. And therefore, allow me the remaining minutes, even if you do not understand what I'm saying, and I only talk to 2 people who will do that, I'll be satisfied. So if you do not understand the things I'll be saying, uniwie radhi. Because I would rather talk to 1 table who may actualize, become this, than talk to all of you and start small dots of businesses. And because we have brain and capacity to all be here, let in the next few years, there'll actually be an auction in this hall, all of us bidding to be this.
Okay.
I'm talking about how we must fashion ourselves in this hall to move from being net worth of $500,000, net worth of a millionaire.
Okay.
And because all wealth is granted by God, that we also break that ceiling. Those figures we hear of billionaires, we also aim. And number 1, moving from that comfort, I'm trying that we move from that comfort of being a dealer for oily beer. Or for Total, to being the Total yourself. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
From being a dealer of Safaricom to being a competitor.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing I'm trying to talk about. Mumeanza kuenda chini mnauliza sasa huyu mtu ni vitu gani hizo? When you want to move to that level, you do not own 100% of your business. There is no billionaire in the entire world who owns 100% of the business of the.
There are few. There are few guys
business
here and
they
there.
are associated with. None. Mark Zuckerberg, in terms of Facebook,
29%.
in fact, let me just to be precise, Jeff Bezos owns 12.7% of Amazon.
Yeah, 16% alipatia 4% bibi yake. Yeah, that's true. Kabakisha 12%. Na ameuzauza iko 10% sasa hivi.
Elon Musk owns 13% of Tesla.
Ameongezea iko 22%. You had the pay package aliongezewa.
Bernard Arnault, the one for Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, is one of the richest man in France actually. He owns 46% of LVMH. Warren Buffett, the renowned investor of Berkshire Hathaway, owns only 16% of Berkshire Hathaway. Larry Ellison, the one for Oracle, owns 35% of Oracle.
Bill Gates 8%.
Bill Gates, as I talk
8%.
to you now, all of you know,
And
Microsoft is
4%
owned by Bill
aliuza.
Gates.
Aliuza.
He owns less than 1%
Aliuza,
of
aliuza.
Microsoft.
Aliuza. A cash cow.
Coming to Kenya, when you ask somebody who owns Cooperative Bank, they tell you Muriuki, the CEO.